Okay, let's watch Death Ball! It's literally about to release at the time of me recording this one, so not that it matters. Anyway, it's Ghost Rider versus Spawn. Now I do know about Ghost Rider and I do know about Spawn. This is two characters I do know about. Not only because they've both been in a Death Ball before, but because they both have... Well, because one, Marvel, and I love Marvel, and two, Spawn has made appearances in other type of games. In just games in general, I guess. I think he made an appearance in Mortal Kombat at some point. Yeah, he did, didn't he? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. Both of these two characters, I don't know a whole lot about them, but I do know they are both pretty difficult to kill. So yeah, I do know they both are pretty difficult to kill, which makes it difficult to find out who can actually become the victor here. I mean, I guess, at least in the case of Ghost Rider, he has a lot of ties into Mephisto, I think it is. Or just part of being... Yeah, I think that is Mephisto. Spawn might have some tie to the Underworld sort of characters too. Like, yeah, you know, Devil and stuff. I think, I don't know for sure. It's been a while since I've seen a Death Ball with him, because he hasn't really been in a Death Ball since... Well, since he fought Kratos. And the fact that he got Spawn right after Kratos is actually quite interesting. I do think that both of them has a lot of potential about who is possibly going to win. I mean, they both have a lot of their own sort of abilities. Ghost Rider has a lot of firepower, I think. I think that's something he has going for him. Spawn might be something similar, I guess. I mean, I guess he doesn't technically have fire, unless he has, and I just don't know about them. But I think, as of right now, I think this has a potential to become a tie. But if I have to lean towards one character right now, it has to be Ghost Rider. Just because I know him more. But at the same time, Spawn is no pushover. So let's just go right into the Death Ball and find out who is going to win. Well, you can see it right away. I have to wait about 30 seconds before I can actually watch it. So let's cut those 30 seconds away and let's get to it. Alright, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's go. One of the first time I was actually watching it as a premieres, as I usually am busy with something else by that time. Let's go.
Ghost Rider versus Spawn.
The Spirit of Vengeance versus the Dark Angel of Armageddon.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Yeah, let's go.
Johnny Blaze has always been a man possessed, chasing the thrill of certain doom by performing death-defying stunts, following the example of his adoptive father, Crash Simpson.
Until the day Crash lived up to his name and got cancer, heartbroken, and without enough Wampa fruit to save him, Johnny turned to the only thing that could: chemotherapy.
The devil.
Oh!
To cure Crash's
Yeah,
cancer,
he has a lot of
Johnny
ties to
sold
stuff
his
like that,
soul
the
to
devil and that sort of thing.
King of the 8th layer of hell.
Mephisto especially, as far as I know.
Actually live up to his name right after.
But instead of scooping up Johnny's soul, Mephisto had something else in mind. He bound Johnny to an instrument of divine wrath, Zarathos, the Spirit of Vengeance.
So Johnny Blaze lived up to his name and burst into hellfire. An undead skeleton biker with a sick-ass hug. The 5th scariest Nick Cage performance. The stuntman from hell. He called himself the Daredevil.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Johnny, that name's taken.
Okay, then how about the Ghost Rider?
That works.
We definitely didn't forget that we named the character the same thing only 5 years earlier. All you.
The Ghost Rider was bad news for
Who's the other
Earth-sitters
Ghost
and
Rider?
scumbags.
I'm not
He's
familiar
strong
with that.
enough
Is
to
that...
pull down
It looked like it was
skyscrapers,
Moon Knight,
blow
but
up
maybe it's not.
mountains, and cause earthquakes that can be felt across whole countries.
Don't even think about fighting back. He can remake his whole body from the hellfire that engulfs him, making him immune to all physical damage. Only holy weapons that target his soul can harm him.
It's
Ah,
not
only
just
holy
his
weapons.
body, his whole
I don't know if
arsenal
Spawn
is
had
hellfire.
anything similar to
Ghosty
it
can
has that,
create
but I feel like
anything
he
gets
also has
bigger
some
from
kind of
an
weakness
infinite
to
string of chains,
holy
a
best
shotgun
weapons.
packed with fiery
I mean,
rounds,
I just
or a
assuming,
flaming missile
but
fired
we'll see.
right out of his mouth. life goals.
And he can imbue other objects with hellfire, such as his Hell Cycle.
Oh, this badass bike can outpace Thor's hammer Mjolnir, which can cross the universe in seconds.
Hellfire is a weapon
Dang,
in and of
if he's
itself,
even
whether
able to
shot out of his
outrun
hands,
that
raining
with a
down from
bike,
the sky, or
that bike is
released
pretty
from
fast,
his,
that's for sure.
He's Boner, Wiz. Get it? And it doesn't just scorch flesh. Hellfire is so deadly, it can burn away your very soul.
This technique would be mastered by Johnny's successor,
That's-
his
okay,
own
I'm just checking
brother,
something.
Danny Ketch.
Oh yeah, Johnny's not the only Ghost Rider, and Danny was the first to master their most famous move. You know, the one that burns your soul to smithereens with just a look? The Penance Stare.
The Penance Stare inflicts upon its victims every ounce of pain they ever wreaked upon others. Every cruelty,
Oh,
no
so
matter
if you
how small or righteous,
basically
is
tortured
reflected
someone,
back
you're gonna
in
feel that
biblical
torture.
punishment.
Obliterating your soul. It even works on other Ghost Riders, like when Johnny and Danny got into a staring contest and Danny actually depowered Johnny.
Eyes are windows to the soul, so the Ghost Rider must be able to match his victim's gaze for the Penance Stare to work. Some people have survived it, like the Punisher supposedly because he didn't regret his actions, but it did work on him on other occasions.
Well, Johnny can adjust how deadly it is, and it doesn't necessarily have to kill you. He can use the stare to read minds, force you to confess info, or just show you the error of your ways.
Remember, the Ghost Rider is two souls in one body,
Okay.
with the kinder Johnny battling the demon Zarathos in a war of control.
Ah, classic Faustian bargain. All the power in the world, but if you want it, it uses you. Because if Johnny gives in, the demon's full might will take over, and then everything is screwed.
Zarathos' strength is
Whoa.
boundless. He can open up portals between dimensions, control the elements, penance stare an entire city, and fly all the way to Asgard, which is a literal infinite distance away.
He's manhandled
Dang.
some of Marvel's heaviest hitters, like Thor, World War Hulk, and Doctor Strange. Hell, Strange said Zarathos is a threat to all realms, mortal and immortal.
Hyperbole? Think again. The Archangel
Okay, this guy is
Zadkiel said
kinda
that
cool.
The power of the Ghost Rider could threaten all of existence, and even bring down heaven itself.
Right before an army of Ghost Riders did just that. Yeah, an army. The spirits of vengeance are legion.
As far back as the Great Flood, humans have been bonded to the vestiges of God's power to act as his divine wrath on Earth. A sort of heavenly Black Ops.
Okay, wait, does that make Zarathos an angel now? Or is he still a demon?
Both? Neither? Despite being one of the greatest entities in existence, it's unclear. What we do know is that ages ago, Zarathos feasted on souls and battled Mephisto for rulership of his realm. Mephisto,
And he won?
ever the trickster, claimed victory and gained control of
Oh, so he did
Zarathos
technically lose
forevermore.
then.
Hence how he could bond him to Johnny.
But Zarathos got his revenge against that big red bitch with another Ghost Rider, Alejandra Jones. Bet you wish you had one more day to fix that hole in your chest, huh?
Comic book fan punching bag though he may be, Mephisto is unbelievably powerful. A battle with him could cause omniversal Armageddon, fitting as his fight with Galactus rents
Okay,
the
I'm not sure what
cosmos
that means, but-
asunder.
And Galactus' fights can destroy all of Marvel's infinite multiverse. That's the kind of awesome power at Zarathos' disposal. Total cosmic annihilation.
So it was no surprise when Johnny went down to the underworld and took Hell's throne for himself, usurping the devil that ruined his life and finally grabbing destiny by the handlebars.
Scoring the total power of hell itself, plus a sick-ass upgrade, the Damnation Stare, which skips the whole every pain you've ever inflicted thing and just sends you straight to hell. No shot.
As they say,
Okay.
though, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. Johnny began an obsessive crusade to capture all of Hell's escaped demons. But by using his new power to damn them to hell, he began absorbing their evil, feeding off of it, and it corrupted him. Once again, Johnny Blaze was a man possessed.
In truth, Johnny was just as trapped by hell's power as he'd always been, and he needed Danny's help to pull him out of the darkness.
Though he gave up Hell's throne, the Ghost
Okay, that felt like it
continues
was the
his
end of
war
the
against demons
Ghost Rider
without
analysis,
aid
but
within,
it's still
venturing
going.
his fellow Ghost Riders in the ways of vengeance, always prowling the highways for the evil and the profane.
An unstoppable engine of judgment that, with just a glance, could make Galactus himself shit his pants.
Maybe one day he'll find salvation in the eyes of one of his victims.
'Cause they sure as hell won't find any in his.
Alright.
If Al Simmons was one thing,
All right,
he was a
let's go
killer.
Spawn.
A lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army and the CIA's most decorated assassin, Simmons upheld democracy around the globe at the barrel of a gun, painting the third world in red, white, and blue, but mostly red.
Until his final fateful mission when, per his boss's orders, Al was fired.
The burning was only getting started because Al's immortal soul was on a one-way trip to hell.
Where he cut a deal with Malvosia, the big, naked lord of the 8th Circle of Hell.
Okay, this looks like a Metroid villain. Like, oh, I don't remember the name of the Metroid character that I'm thinking of right now, but kind of looks like it's that guy character, or this design wise. I mean, it's not, but they have similar looks.
As a decaying zombie 5 years later, after his wife had already remarried and had a daughter.
There, you saw her. Now get back to work, bitch.
Thus was born the undead warrior from hell itself,
Spawn.
He's so 90s that he comes all the way back around to being the coolest thing ever. Look upon his edge wizard and despair.
Spawn would violently defend New York's downtrodden, while slowly uncovering the full breadth of his demonic powers.
He's like a walking superpower encyclopedia. He can fly, teleport, turn invisible and intangible, move things with his mind, make force fields, control the elements and the weather, and even stop time. Speaking of time,
time
he
stop.
can fly so fast, he literally breaks
Excuse
into
me.
other dimensions and
I don't know,
smashes
Ghost Rider didn't
time
have
as
something
a
like that.
concept.
He can manipulate matter,
And that
shape-shifting his own
takes an
body
advantage.
or transmuting other
Excuse me.
objects. He can even control
It gives him a bit of an
other
advantage, I
souls.
guess,
Wait,
in that
if
regard.
he can rearrange
And the ability to
molecules
stop
in crap,
time
why
and-
doesn't he just fix his uggo face?
Well, he tried to do that, but Malvosia cursed him so that he could only make himself, yeah.
Human?
Oh, it's petty trolling like that that gets you a throne in hell.
To be fair, Spawn can achieve a similar result with illusions and mental manipulation. He can read and control minds, implant and replace memories, or simply drive you mad.
Spawn can do all of this crazy shit because
Okay,
he
so
runs
both of them
on
have something
necroplasm,
similar there.
basically
And both
hell
able to
juice.
control each
You're
other,
not
to make
wrong.
each other
Necroplasm
go
is the energy that makes
insane,
up
pretty
hell
much. I think it
itself.
says something like that in
Al's
Ghost
undead
Rider too.
body is composed of 400 pounds of it.
He can wield it like an energy blaster empowered by the sins of others. Spawn can absorb your evil and feed off of it. By simply walking on Earth, Spawn feels all of humanity's pain all at once.
He's even absorbed the sins of 8 million New Yorkers
All right.
instantly.
And
cleansing them
Ghost Rider is able
of
to
their
make
evil.
people
Like
feel that
Jesus?
pain.
Or he can do the reverse.
So
and
if
make
he
you
it
experience
makes
the full weight of
Ghost
your own sins.
Spawn feel that
Feeling every bit
pain,
of pain you've
does
ever inflicted
Spawn
on
technically
others
feel
over
that pain twice as hard as?
Some sort of penance.
I mean, it might be.
Though Spawn's necroplasm comes with a catch.
Yeah, he's got a limited amount of the stuff, and it drains every time he uses his powers. If he runs out, he's dragged back to hell.
Even depowered, Spawn can rely on his elite military training in hand-to-hand combat. He's even fought Batman to a standstill.
And as befits his past profession, he loves his big-ass 90s guns.
Though his greatest weapon is the sentient being he's genetically and spiritually bonded to, his cloak. Letha of the 7th House of K.
You ever wonder why his cape's red? Nope, well, now you are, and it's red because it's made from the apple Eve ate in the Garden of Eden. It's literally made of original sin. Oh, and also the souls of a million sinners, including every one of Hell's victims. Also a touch of vampire for good measure.
K7
Okay,
Letha is constantly
that-
evolving.
that's-
It can act independently
okay.
to defend Spawn with an infinite stream of chains, transform into weapons, or drain people of their power. It is the most potent weapon Hell has ever created.
It even helps Spawn beat the primordial dark god Urizen, who can destroy and eat your soul with just a glare.
Except the souls bonded to Spawn acted as a buffer, allowing him to survive.
You'd think with an arsenal like that, he'd be unstoppable. But Hellspawns have a weakness to holy weapons and can be killed permanently if decapitated.
Okay, so both of them
by one.
technically
Though
have some
Spawn
kind
has
of
managed
whole
to survive
weakness
this
to
in the
holy
past.
weapons then.
Well, Spawn's greatest
And kind of
weakness is his
expected that
own-
considering the mesh now is
How do I
Spawn.
put this?
And I mean Ghost Rider.
Spawn fought this angel lady, Angela. Great name for an angel. She had this dimensional lance that could wipe Hellspawn out of existence, and Spawn got it. But instead of, being cautious around a mysterious angel weapon that hurts him, he just had to push the big shiny button and activate it on himself.
And so, Spawn was forever destroyed. until he reconfigured reality to undo his own inexistence.
There we are, good as new. That has to be the first time we've seen someone accidentally kill themselves and survive.
On his quest as Hell's greatest warrior, Spawn has defeated a serial killer ice cream man, a demonic clown, and even his old boss remade by Heaven into an anti-Spawn. He's even encountered other
Anti-Spawn?
Killing bad guys might seem counterintuitive if you work for a Hell Lord, but it actually just adds more souls to Malvosia's army. An army Spawn would have to lead in a war with Heaven that'd kill all of humanity.
Because the reason Malbolgia chose Al to be his commander wasn't that he was some great warrior. It was because Al had proven that he was the best at taking orders.
All his life and all his death,
Best
Hell
at
was
taking
nothing
orders,
more
huh?
than a hired gun.
But he knew it, and he would do so no more.
So Spawn marched
I feel like that
down
might
with
mean
great
that the
Malvosia,
manipulative power
fucking
stuff for
hell.
Ghost Rider
Scream
is
so
going
loud
to
it
affect
echoed
him in
through
some
all
way.
of reality. Spawn
You know,
became
because if
the
he's great at
king of
taking
the inner
orders,
circle of
and this
hell.
Ghost Rider
As
can make
king,
him,
Spawn is literally a part of
you
Hell
know.
itself, gaining access to an unlimited pool of energy that increases 100-fold with every heartbeat. He's effectively omnipotent in there, and strong enough to challenge other Hell Lords like Mammon and Satan.
He got so strong.
All right.
The only thing left was to finally resolve the war between heaven and hell.
But Spawn needed help from the being who created this god and Satan to begin with, the mother of existence, Gaia.
She wasn't cool with her kids being total assholes, so she appointed Spawn to be the universe's savior.
By eating the fruit
Okay,
from
this
the
is
tree of
probably
life,
where the
Spawn
turning point
became
comes, where this
truly
makes
divine,
Spawn sound
capable
more
of battling
powerful than
God
it is.
and Satan in a stalemate for eternity that extinguished
Or like
all
it could be
life on
win,
Earth.
but then
And
maybe
each of them
loses.
were powerful
No.
enough to create and control infinitely sized universes.
Spawn broke the stalemate by letting God and Satan destroy him, only for Gaia to separate the two from the reality they threatened.
Then, just like that time with the Lance, Spawn respawned and recreated the Earth. Poof, good as new.
Finally freed of the weight of heaven and
Yeah,
hell,
that's the second
Al asked to
time
be
he
reborn
basically
as a human,
reincarnated
but
himself.
He knew in his heart he deserved
I mean,
to carry on
technically,
his undead penance
you know,
in perpetuity.
He's a creature of the 90s, Wiz. He won't be happy unless he can angstily brood over the injustice of his own existence.
Though if you threaten the alley he calls home, beware, because Spawn will turn whatever's left of your life into a living hell.
Okay. Ghost Rider and Spawn. Yeah, it kind of sounds like Ghost Rider is going to lose this one. Spawn basically reincarnated himself twice. It meant he killed himself and came back. Ghost Rider has, yeah, he has multiple Ghost Riders on the side, I guess, if that counts. But I think the biggest thing for Ghost Rider is the manipulative power thing, and maybe the whole fact that, you know, they both kind of cancel each other out pretty well there, actually. But Ghost Rider had the whole manipulating thing, where you can use his eyes to kill or even make people confess and all that sort of thing. And I feel like if he uses that on Spawn, and Spawn was apparently really good at taking orders, if he can use that in a way to make, you know, make Spawn take orders, I mean, I don't think that's enough to kill him, even then. That was the whole thing about Gaia, I think they called her. You know, basically the one above all, whatever. Which was, you know, basically the universe creator, or whatever they call it. I don't remember exactly how they depict her, but it's, you know, basically the being over all beings, from what I gathered. And if he was able to go against her and basically, you know, and even defeat an anti-Spawn, which I feel like is somewhat familiar to anti-Venom. It might not be, but yeah, even defeating that is also very impressive, I guess. You know what? I want Ghost Rider to win this one, but I feel like he's going to lose. I mean, he might not be losing, but it feels like he's going to be losing. You know, this really can go really either way, but at the same time, they kind of seem like Spawn there has an advantage. The fact that he basically died twice and still came back. I mean, the other one was about the universe, crazy stuff, but he's still technically, you know, twice. So, in Ghost Rider, when he dies, I guess he's technically is just dead. I mean, someone else will take his place. Yeah, you see, I want Ghost Rider to win this one, but my feelings tells me that I have to go as Spawn for this one. Ghost Rider is a tough character to kill, that's for sure. But Spawn, I think Spawn is just above that. I'm gonna go with Spawn, and we'll see if I'm right or not. So Spawn is going to win. All right, let's get to the death battle.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time
for one
for
hell of a death battle!
A demon death ball, I guess you can call it.
Nights like these drive men insane. Brimstone in the air. Something's coming. If it wants a piece of me, there'll be hell to pay.
Alright, here comes Ghost Rider.
Go back to the pit you squirmed from, Hellspawn.
Make me.
And Ghost Rider also had... yeah, there was a whole thing about Spawn though, when he died, lost all his power or something, he just got dragged back down to hell. But I don't think that's... I mean, Ghost Rider is always taking powers from hell, I guess, but it's still... I guess they both technically are, but anyway. Forgot to mention that whole thing, you know, Spawn. I don't think that's changed anything though, but...
You've earned your damnation.
Infinite.
Welcome to hell, motherfucker.
Too bad. Ghost Rider had something to do with L too. And basically, I mean, Mephisto, and you know.
Be damned. Yes, you will. Get over here. The vestments of the holy cannot disguise your wickedness. God forbid.
Come on, Ghost Rider. The Spawn just seems superior, but... Were we wrong? Oh, you ripped his wings off him. That had to hurt.
I eat sin for breakfast. Have a taste of your own goddamn medicine.
He's the Prince of Lies. Wait, I'm an innocent.
Dang, this is getting dark. Man, I think he just died.
Nothing personal, asshole.
I was right though. Spawn won. Win.
Damn!
Literally. This was a nail-biter of a battle that pitted Ghost Rider's immeasurable power against Spawn's skill and versatility. Let's break this down into 4 categories.
First up, power. Divine Spawn could match God and Satan, who could create universes. Similar in scale to Ghost Rider's bouts with a lot of the powerhouses in Marvel.
But Zarathos was different. Remember, his power can match that of Mephisto and Galactus, who can threaten all of Marvel's infinite cosmic reality, far greater than any cosmos Spawn has ever affected. Even though Spawn's battled and defeated Satan in more recent comics, implying he's retained a level of power similar to his divine form, he couldn't match Zarathos in power alone.
Ghost Rider may take power, but remember, Johnny actively resists Zarathos' influence. so Spawn may have had time in the fight to learn and adapt to Ghost Rider before he went full Blue Fury.
And Spawn definitely had the edge in skill. He spent decades in military combat and is a master martial artist, whereas Johnny more so relies on his invincibility.
The ultimate dream power for
So basically a
stuntman.
tie so far.
Even with his crazy powers, Ghost Rider was a lot more direct than Spawn, pretty much entirely focused on attacking the soul.
Which doesn't bode well for his versatility. Spawn can stop time, manipulate matter, turn intangible, control minds, warp reality. The Ghost Rider had a much more limited arsenal by comparison. Spawn had a huge advantage in this category.
Though with his invincibility, way greater power, and the ability to scorch your soul to nothing, Ghost Rider could score the win through brute force, right?
Not exactly. The last piece of the puzzle is their resistances. Basically, who was harder to kill. Spawn's constant mainlining of humanity's collective sin and pain meant he could survive attacks on his soul, including the penance stare. Just like he resisted a very similar
Yeah, I was
attack
kind of
from
wondering
Urza.
about that, the
Best of
stare
all,
thing
remember
when
the
it comes to
time
Ghost
he
Rider.
rewrote reality to
I mean, I'd
undo his own
I'd never
image?
expected it
There
to
was
be enough to
nothing the
kill
Ghost
him,
Rider
but
could do
more
to
like...
overpower that. And that time with the lance wasn't planned, it was purely instinctual. He could replicate it any time
Controlling
he
him.
wanted, like in his fight with
or
God
whatever,
and
but
Satan.
you
So
know,
how do you put
making
Spawn
confess,
down
but
for good?
that's
Well,
probably
you
not
can't.
something that would
At
work
least
very well
Johnny
on
and Zarathos
Ghost
could.
Rider.
Unlike
Now
how
I mean
Ghost Rider's
Spawn.
soul has been vulnerable to attack before, like when Danny used the penance stare to depower Johnny.
This sort of thing actually happens a lot, even in recent comics. The whole reason Johnny and Zarathos are bonded in the first place is because Zarathos' soul was manipulated by Mephisto.
And not only does Spawn have plenty of experience manipulating souls, he can replicate the effect of the penance stare itself.
And just think about that. A penance stare on Zarathos would mean he's feeling the pain from every penance stare that he's ever done. A penance squared.
The damnation stare, on the other hand,
Yeah, penance
actively helps Spawn,
stare to the
sending him to
infinity
hell
and
where he
beyond,
gets a
for
literal
basically.
infinite power boost.
And it wasn't just Spawn's soul powers that had spelled trouble. He had other ways to bypass Ghost Rider's immortality too, like transmutation, rewriting reality, or just straight up stealing his powers, which has worked on multiple Ghost Riders in the past.
Giving Spawn the final edge. Zarathos was almost unbeatable.
Yeah, this
a
was
massive
way more
power advantage,
one-sided than
soul
I expected.
destruction, immortality, but
Looking at
Spawn
those
could
4
counter
categories
everything
alone,
and was
where
too
Spawn takes
unkillable
3
for
out of 4,
Zarathos' strength advantage to matter in the
it
long
was
run
more
against his
one-sided than
crazier
I thought.
abilities.
That was one hell of a fight, and at least Johnny went out in a blaze of glory.
The winner is Spawn.
Oh well,
Next time
congratulations
on
Spawn, and who's next?
Subscribe and join as a member to see
Okay,
more
the next
Death Battle.
one I'm not
Thanks
so
for
sure
watching.
about. So that was Ghost Rider versus Spawn. And I'm gonna say that was a great death ball. I mean, I don't think it was the best, but I did really enjoy it. I mean, that animations were great. I wasn't the biggest fan of music, but that's because probably it doesn't fall into my interest of music styles, I guess. But yeah, I was a little bit unsure on that. In my opinion, I might have just missed stuff here and there, but I felt that, but I was pretty much right about the whole, you know, thing where Spawn wasn't winning. I forgot about the whole resetting reality and stuff, but even so, that didn't change my view on who I thought was going to win. Yeah, in the end of the day, Ghost Rider is technically still just a regular guy who happens to have the power of, you know, the devil or whatever. But it's still, yeah. I mean, he was, you know, Ghost Rider had the edge when it came to power. He definitely had. They said so. You know, with whole 4 and all the, you know, like Galactus and the other characters I mentioned, and but yeah, I kind of wasn't surprised about Spawn winning. I was glad I stuck with Spawn, even though it made it seem like he was, you know, hyping up to the point where he was going to lose because they have done that before. But yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I felt pretty sure about Spawn winning anyway. It's still, I mean, technically, I mean, pretty sure enough to the point where I was, well, sure. I was sure enough to the point where I was leaning towards him. I mean, at the glaze, at first glance, it might look like, you know, they're kind of evenly matched or whatever. But looking at it on, start with the match those 3-4 categories against each other, Spawn had a lot more advantages over defeating Ghost Rider. There's definitely some stuff I definitely missed, I'm pretty sure, or just entirely forgot about. And there's definitely stuff I forgot about mentioning in the analysis part, my analysis part, prediction, I guess. But I still really enjoyed this episode for what it is. I do think it's, well, I don't know if it's the best from this particular, well, I was gonna say season, but, yeah, okay, let's just call it season. From this particular season. But it's still, yeah, Ghost Rider is a powerful character, there's no doubt, he's very powerful. But Spawn is just on a whole different level. I don't know, I don't think there really is anything else to say about them. I mean, I did really enjoy the analysis part and animation and battle, that sort of thing, so yeah. About the next time though, we have, oh, please forgive me if I mispronounce anyone there, but it's can't speak. Shigaraki versus Mahito, which is My Hero Academia, which has been on that one before, and Jujutsu Kaisen has probably been on that one before too. For almost a moment there, I was so kind of wondering, oh wait, is this Attack on Titan? Because it kind of seemed like that based on the clips they were showing. But no, it's not. And I'm not familiar with the two next characters at all. So that means on the next one, I'm pretty much going in blind. And so I can't say anything about who I think is going to win right now because I don't know them. So we just have to wait for analysis next time to see who is going to win that one. So yeah, let me know what you thought about this episode by posting down in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you disagree with the results? Feel free to let me know, and there's a link to the original video down in the description as always. Of course. Just be civil in the comments, because it's better. Anyway, with that said, I hope you guys did enjoy this reaction. I might be starting re-uploading some old Death Battle reactions, by the way, in between the episode, this one and next one, from my old channel. So, yeah, so you might see some of that coming up in between the episodes every now and then. So, yeah, I think that's it. Nothing else for me to say, so let's just end this episode right there. And I thank you guys so very much for watching, and Minishu96 signing out, and I see you guys in the next time. The next one is, let's see, that should be on a second. Ah, the next one might happen right before the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, just before it, or right after. Yeah, probably right after. I guess we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Minishu96 signing out, and thank you guys so much for watching.